I made it. Our farm is located in the Central Valley of California, but if you think farming here is just planting and irrigating, you haven't had to deal with feral hogs. These pigs don't just come and go. They destroy everything. An entire pasture can be torn up overnight. What once was a green field in the evening can turn into a muddy battlefield by morning. The ground looks like it's been plowed by heavy machinery. Roots ripped out, irrigation lines shredded, fences flattened. So I and other farmers in the area started learning how to hunt wild hogs with drones and dogs. It wasn't something any of us wanted to do, but when the damage costs tens of thousands of dollars every season, you learn to adapt or lose everything. The morning air was a bit chilly. I checked the drone. The battery was full, the camera working perfectly, and the GPS lock was solid. The sun was just peeking over the distant almond orchards, painting the sky orange and gold. I sent the drone soaring into the open sky, its rotors humming like an angry swarm. On the screen, I could see the entire valley stretch out. Orchards, pastures, and the dry riverbeds where wild boars like to hide during the day. The dogs, once released, took off like bullets, their noses pressed to the ground, barking with purpose. Moments later, a herd of wild boars appeared on the screen, moving cautiously through the brush. The trained dogs cut off their path, barking wildly to drive them toward our ambush point. My pulse quickened, I steadied the rifle, sighted the lead bull, and squeezed the trigger. A single loud bang echoed through the valley. The boar staggered, then collapsed in the dust. The others scattered, darting in all directions. The dogs chased after them, relentless, fearless, determined not to miss a single one. The best thing about using drones to hunt wild boars is that we can observe all their movements. From above, we see their trails, their habits, and even their escape patterns. With every hunt, we learn something new. How they think, how they survive. This is not mindless killing. It's population control, a battle for balance between man and nature. Since wild boars move quickly over large areas, we often use pickup trucks or motorbikes to follow the dogs closely. The drone stays above, guiding us through the dense thickets and uneven terrain. Sometimes we drive for miles before we catch sight of them again. The chase is filled with adrenaline and tension. You never know where they'll turn. And when they do, you better be ready. Each pursuit is unique. The drone's live feed shows every twist and turn, while the dog's barks echo through the hills. It's a symphony of chaos and precision. Modern technology meeting primal instinct. The drone allows us to strike with efficiency, while the dogs provide the heart and courage. Using drone technology in wild boar hunting has truly changed everything. What once took us days now takes hours. The ability to scan hundreds of acres in minutes means fewer surprises and safer hunts. The camera captures heat signatures, movement trails, even reflections from the boar's bristled backs under the sun. It's a revolution in wildlife management. After each hunt, I review the drone footage carefully, taking notes on paths, patterns, and even the behavior of each animal. Some of the older boars are incredibly smart. They'll hide underwater, double back, or even use smaller pigs as decoys. But no matter how clever they are, persistence and teamwork usually win. I'm not a professional hunter. I'm a farmer, holding a gun, piloting a drone, and patrolling my own land day and night was never part of my plan. But when your crops are your family's future and your animals depend on your pastures, you don't have a choice. You adapt, you learn, and you fight for survival. That afternoon, we flew the drone over the southern swamp. The live feed showed movement, a massive boar, maybe 90 kilos, wading through the reeds. The dogs sensed it immediately and charged. The boar tried to escape but was driven straight into our ambush frame. Someone asked if I enjoyed it, the thrill of the hunt. I said no. There's no joy in taking a life, but there is relief in protecting what you've built. If we don't, the next generation might inherit nothing but ruined land. We believe the use of drones could become a standard method in the future. As feral pig populations continue to grow across the United States, from California to Texas, from Florida to Louisiana, this technology could save farms, forests, and fragile ecosystems. It's efficient, humane, and effective. The meat from the boars we take down is always used. Nothing goes to waste. Louisiana, where the swamps meet endless farmland, has become the front line of the feral pig war. The local government estimates millions of dollars in damage every year. Fields are shredded, levees broken, and wildlife pushed out. We couldn't wait for the pigs to come to us anymore. So the aerial assault began. We boarded the helicopter, the blades roaring overhead. The doors opened, the wind whipped our faces, and the vast plains stretched beneath us. From the air, the pigs looked like shadows running across a green ocean. As the pilot banked low, we aimed and fired, one after another. The open terrain made targeting easy. There was nowhere for them to hide. Within minutes, several herds were down. Then came the forest run. The pigs had retreated into thick woods, nearly invisible from above. We lowered altitude, the noise of the rotors echoing through the trees. The pigs panicked, bursting out into the open. The team acted fast, precision, coordination, and teamwork. It was over in minutes, but not all were caught. A few managed to escape into the dense swamp. We launched a pursuit immediately, guided by heat vision and GPS. Every successful hit reduced the growing problem, but we knew the battle was far from over. After each mission, we gathered near the trucks. The air smelled of mud, oil, and gunpowder. The dogs panted, exhausted but proud. We cleaned our rifles, checked the drones, and shared quiet conversations over coffee. There's a strange beauty in this life, not in the hunt itself, but in the unity. The shared purpose of protecting our land. As the sun set behind the hills, I looked over the fields. For now, they were safe, but I knew the fight would continue. Wild boars breed fast, faster than we can hunt. Yet every day we stand guard. Farmers turned hunters, defenders of our homes and heritage. The next night, we returned under the moonlight. The sky was clear, stars scattered like glitter. The thermal drone's screen glowed faint red and orange, showing the heat signatures of animals hidden in darkness. Out there, the boars moved again. Silent, clever, destructive. The dogs waited quietly in the truck bed, noses twitching, eyes locked on the dark horizon. The radio crackled with a voice saying, "Got movement, southeast corner." I launched the drone higher, its sensors tracing glowing shapes in the field. 3 large boars, 1 massive. We moved in. The night hunts are different, quieter, colder, more intense. Every sound echoes. The click of the safety, the crunch of gravel under boots, the panting of the dogs. It all feels amplified. The moonlight glistened off the wet grass as we approached. Suddenly, a shadow burst from the thicket. The big boar. He charged straight through the brush, teeth glinting. The dogs reacted instantly, leaping forward in a blur. Dust, barking, and shouts filled the night. It was chaos, a storm of instinct and control. I steadied the rifle, exhaled, and fired. Silence followed. The drone hovered above, recording the aftermath in eerie green glow. We approached slowly. The boar was massive, nearly the size of a small bear. I placed a hand on its bristled back and whispered, "You fought hard." For a moment, the night was still. Then the radio buzzed again. More movement, another herd approaching from the far tree line. The work wasn't over. It never is. Tomorrow, we'll be back out again. With drones, with dogs, with the same determination. Because this isn't sport, it's survival. And out here in the wild heart of America, survival means adapting, learning and protecting the land that feeds us all,